Diane from I Studio, and today's video is about stenciling. I've used stencils for years in my work, and the big question I get is, are stencils cheating? Well, no, they're not, and there's a lot of different ways that stencils can be applied that can really be beautiful and enhance the work. This is the first layer of the stenciling that I did. I demonstrated in the video, and you'll see that in just a moment. It looks so striking the way it is now that I'm tempted to leave this. It's like, oh man, this is fantastic. But it's just not enough for me. Generally, it's not enough because the surface hasn't been worked enough. Now, because of the way I applied the gesso with the modeling paste and troweled it, it really is quite a beautiful surface. So in a way, it could be enough. I'm gonna work further into it myself. The question also that I keep getting is, how did you get the stencils? These were custom-made stencils, and the company is called Stencils Stop. I sent them photographs, and they make up these little samples for me. I approve the samples, and then they cut the stencils any size that I want. They're on vinyl, and I was very pleased with their delivery, their speed, and they were quite affordable. So I'm happy with that. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hey, welcome back. I got some beautiful gesso and molding paste coats on these 3 canvases last night. I'm really happy with the surface that I have to begin with. And my intention is that I'm going to do some stenciled flowers, and then I want to do some probably very thin paper over the flowers to kind of obscure the flowers. On these paintings, I also want to have some gestural brushwork. So that's my starting intention. I have to find a placement that feels right. Let's try this. Let's see. Well, so far so good. It doesn't seem to be tugging on those little connectors. I use the heck out of the stencils in that I will go over and over and over a particular image until it becomes very dimensional. And sometimes I'll choose not to go over the entire image. I'll just take a partial image. With this one, I'm a little anxious to see how the image is going to transfer. So let's see what we got. I didn't do the entire image. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's pretty good. It doesn't show as much detail as I was thinking it might, and I actually prefer it this way. I don't want a real detailed image. The stencils that I tend to use are a little simpler for the most part. Let's try the second image. I think I'll turn it this way. You can use both sides of your stencils. And then you notice I'm going over the dividers, the lines in the triplets. What I will do as I go along and I paint, I'll change the position of these panels, and the patterns will get broken up. So in some ways, I'm thinking of this more as pattern than flower. And this is a jumping off point for me. worry about smearing and blending, anything like that. Anything really goes at this point. This is the first stage of the painting. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Not a bad image. My son used to cut the stencils for me, and it's so time consuming. And the cardstock he used to use wasn't really holding up. They would get soggy and break. And then I'd spray paint over the image, and then I'd cut around the lines, and it was really time consuming. And I realized I can get these beautiful vinyl stencils custom made, really save some time. And I do like these images, so let's continue on and see what happens. Now, what I did with this one was I put it the opposite direction. So I'm going to get some black left over from the overpainting on this one. So I think I'll do this one gray, and then we'll have those interesting black edges. I'm painting it on the table, but when I get these images on, I'll put it up on the wall so that I can evaluate what I have. Sometimes I'll let them dry partially, and then I'll take a rubber scraper, pull through them, take some of the paint off. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. The black lines around that work pretty well. But now I'm going to have to go back into black. And now I'll turn it upside down so the gray edge shows. It's a little too lined up with that one. I don't want to. This is a beautiful mark, so I'll work with that. Yeah, it's getting pretty exciting. The flowers almost look like a silk screen to me. I'm pretty happy with these stencils, and now it's just a matter of creating movement through the space with the placement of the flowers. And so far so good. Now what I'll probably do is go over these with some Chinese rice paper that usually has a bit of a brownish yellow tint. And then these will come through, but not as strong as they are now. I may do that over the entire surface or just over part of the surface. So, remains to be seen. Contemplating my next placement here. I love this. It's really nice. What happens with this house paint is it creates ridges. Not as thrilled with that one. I lost some definition of flower. And what I might do in that case is go back into it with a contrasting color like white. But that's, like I said, I build these images up layer by layer by layer by layer. I don't want it to look like a stenciled flower. I want to get some beautiful patterns out of this. I kind of like the asymmetry of having this arc over here and then this single flower there. I'm not even sure about putting another image in. Well, I can always paint over it. Let's see. And I don't think I'm gonna overdo it with too many more flowers. I think this is where I'm gonna begin. I love these black lines I've gotten here, are really nice. It's a good start. I'm not sure about this relationship here. This goes up here and then down, and I love the way that one moves up and this one kind of drifts down. And I think this relationship may not be right. I may have to white out part of this area here. And yeah, I think that's a good enough start. So that's how it all begins. These are the first marks on the fresh canvases, and now what I do is I just start responding to the marks that are down. My next thought is I'm going to do some textile block prints on some beautiful Chinese rice paper, and I actually brought this paper back from China. It has some little gold or silver flecks in it, and if anyone knows where I can order this here, just message me and let me know. I'd sure like to get some more of it. Anyway, you can watch my video on how to make the textile prints, and I'll get back to you when I go into the next process. Okay? Please subscribe to my channel and support me on Instagram as well. Thank you very much, and have a safe day. Bye.